What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of 4 Dummies, and tonight I am joined with the other 3 dummies. I have Mr. Robert Detoff.
Hello.
I have Mr. Just One.
What's happening? Robert sounded like a car going by.
I almost said something inappropriate, but I realized I couldn't do it in the intro.
And I have Mrs. Skullface.
Hello.
And tonight we are going to be talking about the HasLab Deathsaurus. Initially, I thought perhaps to do this as a sit-down Saturday, but I didn't really want to be honest. So I think it'd be more interesting if we have a conversation and a kind of ebb and flow regarding it. I'm going to say this. After Unicron, I thought that Star Saber was a stupid option for a HasLab product for Transformers. I thought that doing like a Primus or something would have been much more sort of thoughtful regarding it. But once they did the Star Saber, having already done it, and I disagree with that path, I think that Deathsaurus is the kind of logical choice to do next.
Well, did they do the Victory Leo? Did they do that yet?
They did not.
Coming,
they did not.
Right?
They did not.
I feel like Victory Leo should have been next.
That's
fair.
That's fair. That's fair.
But at the end of the day, it's a nerd argument, right? We're talking about this bag right here, like a garbage Star Saber that everybody loves because it's a good Star Saber that would be on a peg. If this was on a peg, this would be selling like hotcakes, but naturally it would be one in a case.
That like, all right, so this is $180, right? How much is the DZEF from MMC? But like it is like
$250.
So $250, right. And this is $180. And I think the DZEF is a bit more sophisticated than this, but it does paint a picture of like Hasbro with all of their resources has created something that is somewhat less than the DZEF, but it's in the same ballpark and the price is similar. It makes me think about like when people say that third party gouges or whatever, but it may not be the case. This may be what you have to pay at a lower production volume to actually get something decent.
Right, but if they sell 50,000 units, they're not lowering the price.
That's fair. That's fair.
And I'll tell you too, but it doesn't look like $175. Like it still looks like it's like a $60 figure you get at Target. Like it doesn't look any better.
I think
if you're getting people to crowdfund it, I think if you're getting people to crowdfund it, you could have put more into the build of it.
I think it looks better.
I don't know. It still just looks blocky.
It is blocky, but there's no hollowness. Like it doesn't have the kind of like flagship red alarms that like a lot of Hasbro products have. Like it looks like a third-party piece.
This is what Chug should be, but we're so used to garbage.
But Chug has never been this. This I think that this is better. You know, I think it's probably $30 overpriced.
I would call it Chug Plus.
Yeah, but it's I think if you took Hasbro off of this and you put some other third-party brand name on it, like
Moss Toys.
You're up. I think that people would feel differently about this. Like, I'm not mad at this.
What are they giving you for the tiers? What are they giving you?
So they haven't really announced them yet. They've shown you so far that you're getting like a couple of guns, a mace, some blast effects,
a chair.
And you're getting a throne.
And a throne. Don't say it's a chair.
Yeah. You gotta get a chair. I mean, but all right. So you want it to be $150, but I think like the throne and then the extra weapons is probably worth the $30.
So I think that's fair too. Like I don't think this is bad. I think it's interesting for 2 reasons. I'm going to say the one, and then allow me to transition to the second part of why I think this is interesting. So the one part of why I think this is interesting is because it shines a light on the price point of third party, where it's like, okay, this is a Hasbro product that does away with the hollowness. It does away with a lot of the kind of articulation issues. It gives you the extra accessories, and the price point is comparable to third party products. Maybe third party products are not overpriced as some have thought. My second point on this, why are the Transformers HasLabs significantly cheaper than their other franchise HasLabs?
No, they're smaller. This is smaller.
I think
why?
I think the fan base isn't there.
They're not. I was thinking about this. How much was Galactus?
Galactus was $350.
It'd be
This is
like 11 inches tall.
I understand, but I'm saying, why aren't they doing something huge? Why
should it be huge?
No, I'm saying, why aren't they doing something huge instead of this? My point is that
what else would they do?
I don't think they believe in the brand enough to ask for a higher price point, because of how much the Unicron struggled to get made, and because that struggled to get made, their next 2 have been the cheapest HasLabs ever available.
I don't think the content is there to support. I don't think you're getting anybody new really in Transformers. You're always getting new Marvel stuff. They're making movies. The comics are still going. You're always getting new Star Wars stuff. You're still getting new content. So like you're getting new people hooked. Like what new Transformers other than the movies, which don't really relate to the stuff that they're making.
So I don't work for Hasbro, but you want me to just like load the magazine and give you a couple shots real quick?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Can you please hit the button every time you make a point?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it. All right. Where's a Primus? Where is a 6-pack Devastator? Where is a 5-pack Predacons? Aerobots, Stunnicons, Defensor, like they could really do something if they wanted to. Imagine if they did a Constructicon set that was to the level of quality that this is. No hollowness, proportionately accurate, nothing looks goofy like the Long Haul did in the Combiner Wars set, and they all combined to form a large Devastator, and it charged $600.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. It's because chug collectors don't spend that kind of scratch.
But I want to know where they're getting their data from. But where are they getting their data from too about like what figure they think was going to fund? They got to be doing research somewhere. Like out of everything they could have made, right? Anything they could have made, they're like, we're going to make
Unicron. That's the data.
Yeah, but no, I get that. But okay. So, but based on how Unicron is, the next 2 characters we're going to release are Starsaber and Deathsaurus. So it's again, I don't think it's for the American market.
No, I think this is for basement dwellers.
You don't think that Hasbro, an American company that marketed all of this in English, is marketing this to an American?
Well, but here's my thing about it. Don't you think that for an American audience, the Constructicons would have been a better sell?
Definitely.
Definitely.
These 2 more money.
Definitely. But my point is that the Chug collector, the American Transformer Chug collector does not want to spend more than $100.
No, they spend $1 on pizza bagels for dinner.
I think you're right. But also, too, I think something with that, too. Think about Star Wars, for example. You're buying, what's a Black Series? $25 for the figure, right? Yep. But then they were releasing vehicles that were $70, $80. I think there's other stuff that goes in to support paying a higher price for those franchises, right? You got Lego that makes Star Wars and Marvel stuff. Lego are expensive, so you're going, okay, I'm used to spending a high price point for this stuff that's top of mind.
I agree.
I think it's that Transformers is top of mind.
So Jisk is saying that the brand itself has conditioned the consumer that their product should be at a certain price point. Am I reading that right?
Yeah, it's a lesser brand.
I think that's fair.
Any new content?
You have officially licensed companies releasing.
You do, but they're
figures that are hundreds of dollars.
You do, but they're relatively new and they're relatively out of reach.
And the average Joe isn't buying that. That's their market for collector base. It's not for the average kid. Like, what kid do you know? What new kid really do you know that is a Transformers fan?
None.
They're more likely to buy Marvel figures, like an action figure. Like a 10-year-old kid, 8-year-old kid is going to go into the store and want a Marvel action figure or some other random thing from YouTube over a Transformer
for sure.
There's no media for it.
For sure. I think that you're right, Jessica, that they have conditioned their market to accept toys at a certain price point. But I also think that like part of the problem is when you get to this kind of stuff, this might be where third party actually has an impact. Now, I think that this thing will get funded. Don't get me wrong.
I do too.
But I think that the reason why you're not seeing stuff at like the $600, $700 price point, like the Unicron, is because when you get into that price point, now you're competing with third party. Now you're competing with 3.0. Now you're competing
for different customers.
You're competing for a different customer base, and they're not as accepting of the bull.
Well, here's the thing. You're a chug collector. This is your, grail. These are the epitome of your collection. That's what these are to you, that collector. This is the alpha and omega.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's the cream of the crop for them.
What's interesting, right, is like if I was to make one kind of critique of Jisk's point, Hasbro's producing stuff at a high price point now, right? Like their Motormaster's $80. Like there's a couple other things that they've been producing recently that are like in that $80 to $100 price point.
But is that inflation based, or is that really because they're just like their quality is warranted?
No, it's definitely not the quality. I think it's a bit inflation, but I think it's also that they're trying to give you a bit more. They're trying to be a competitor on the grand stage. But like with this, if that Motormaster was $80, I don't know if I feel like this is $100 more advanced than that. But I think that they're guessing that they can sell more of the Motormaster. I think this is a numbers game with them.
Look, right. I mean, let's see. So they got 34 days left. They need 11,000 backers, and they're halfway there. They got 6,020.
Yeah, right now. I would say this will probably make it.
When's 34 days?
December?
Like December 5th,
early
right?
December, yeah.
See, I mean, the thing is, they haven't
them Christmas dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Now, about Hasbro's approach, they haven't revealed quote-unquote tiers, but they've shown you're getting a throne, you're getting a breastmaster, you're getting these weapons. Can you imagine if they... I don't know what the goal is. What's the first tier?
14,000 backers is the first tier.
So what if they were like at 18,000 backers, you get a throne. At 20,000
At 17,000, you get the throne.
You get the gun.
Yeah, because Star Saber, one of the like tiers was the display stand.
That's bullshit.
Of course it is.
Well, so yeah, 17,000 backers, you get the throne and the display stand.
Ooh.
Like they're together. The throne sits on the display stand, but that can also just be used as the display. Yeah.
See, they're insulting everyone's intelligence. Every single collector, Hasbro,
I don't know if they're insulting everyone's intelligence.
That's a broad spectrum, and they're all of their intelligences are being insulted with that move, with that approach. You know, just show what you sell. And we'll all buy it, dumb. And then give us something extra if you really want to do like, hey, guess what?
But what do they give? What do they give? Like you know, these characters don't have. It's not like Galactus, right? That has like whatever. I'm using numbers arbitrarily, but 100 years of history where you can pull all this stuff for different nuances and different kind of tips of the hat to different media that Galactus has appeared in. Like this character, while he's been around forever, he doesn't have the same thing. Like he's appeared in the Japanese cartoon, and then he was in IDW, and that's pretty much it.
Give him LEDs. Yeah. Give him a display stand that has a Japanese voice in it that gives a little digital English subtitle at the bottom.
Do you think they need that though, man? Do you think they need that? Like out of all the things they could give, I just like that. I know this is the real name, but at tier 1, 14,000 backers, you get to feel the power of the living metal destroying cannon. The name of it.
I really think that HasLab needs to move into sets as opposed to single releases. Right. Like if they did a Devastator that was of this level, I think that the Chug Collector would be very pleased to see that. If I speak for myself from Black Series, right? If they did a set of Knights of Ren, or they did a set of pod race pilots. Okay, so yeah, I spend $300. I get 10 figures, and I'm perfectly content. Figures that would peg warm. So figures are getting expensive, right? And I think that they are alienating certain people. Inflation's going up. Like people are struggling, right? Gas prices, etc. All the kind of adult we don't want to like talk about or think about. And I'm one of you. But like if you were to consider that, like if I was a person, and I mean I live check to check, but if I was a person that was really struggling and a Black Series wave came out and I wanted something to kind of get me through the melodrama of life, and I just wanted to get something like, and Luke Skywalker is sitting right there next to Ben Quad Dineros, I'm probably going to get the Luke Skywalker over Ben Quad Dineros. But if you're trying to reach for the people that have a bit more disposable income, that want to back something that's really fan-led, and you're offering Ben Quad Dineros along with Sebulba, along with Gasgano and all these other like pod racer pilots that like the normal person living day to day doesn't really want or think about or even consider to be a necessity of their collection, I think that you could really grab that market.
Right. They're not doing that. That would be great.
I agree.
How bad do you think it hurts them if something doesn't get funded?
So that's interesting because like we've seen a number of things not get funded recently, right? The Star Wars lightsaber, the Marvel Legends car, the Star Wars Rancor, and of course Justice for Cookie Monster.
I just wonder what goes into the planning before they decide they're going to release something. Like, do they already have to have it?
So I think
engineered.
That, So I think that each department is handling it independently. So I think it's not like a HasLab thing. It's like HasLab is passing the baton to the Star Wars department. They're passing the baton. Yeah. So I think that the Star Wars department is I think that the Marvel Legends department is on their game. They failed with this Ghost Rider, but it wasn't through lack of trying. Like it wasn't that they had no concept of the fan base. They just outpriced them. The Transformers fans, I think they thought that the Unicron was going to be a in the bag option, and when it wasn't, they were like, "Oh God, let's shoot."
It was
lower.
pricey, man.
Let's shoot a lot lower.
Because again, I think that for Transformers and specifically the Unicron, you're asking a huge price point for you haven't proven yourself to be worth that price point.
As a HasLab or as Hasbro?
Yeah, as a Hasbro in general.
Okay.
Like, if it were like a fan, so any one of these third parties companies have proven themselves like, all right, at that price point, they're going to produce something pretty dope. Hasbro hasn't proven that, at least in Transformers.
Not in some time anyway. That's fair. That's fair.
But I just wonder, like, how bad is it such a bad look to then, I guess, put it out again? Like, let's say the Ghost Rider car and go, okay, in a year they go, you know what, we're going to re-release it. Now either they have the better tiers or they lower the price. Like, is that a bad look?
Yeah, no, I agree. And to close, look, I think this is a good looking piece, but now it is competing in the same space as that MMC. And aside from the kind of G1 like look, which Chug doesn't really even go for, it has a stylized look all its own. Like, I would say get the MMC, because the MMC piece is beautiful and one of the best releases they've done in years, and this one is left to be seen.
But I would argue that anything more than this, quality-wise, aesthetic-wise, threatens your Chug collector, because it makes the rest of their collection look like garbage.
That's a good point.
That's fair.
That's a fair point.
That's my issue with it, is you're paying a lot for it to look like a Chug. It's a lot for a Chug.
It's a lot for a Chug.
Pizza bagel.
I want to see Ben Quattro Sideris.
Quadraneros.
I want to see a deaf dinosaur.
3-liter bottle of wine.
There it is.
Oh, look at that.